Today we're taking a stroll through the wonderful world of peas, and we're going to be talking about everything you need to know before you get out and buy some pea seeds. Let's go. So when it comes to peas, the varieties are endless. There is something out there for everyone. If you like a certain type of pea, chances are someone else likes a different type of pea, and the great thing is there are different peas for everyone, and the options are endless. Now, every pea that you're going to come across is going to fall within two main groups. And those two main groups are also going to fall into three different subgroups. And so in this episode, we're going to talk about all 5 different types of peas that will basically encompass all edible peas. Now, outside of edible peas, there are also a lot of different other types, such as sweet pea. We're not going to talk about sweet peas in this episode because sweet pea are not actually an edible pea at all. In fact, they're actually poisonous. So we're not going to talk about sweet peas, and that's also why we don't carry sweet peas over at MIgardener, is because we don't want them to get confused with edible peas. So in today's episode, we're only talking about edible peas. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 2 main groups of peas, because every variety of pea you're going to come across is going to fall into those 2 groups. You have what is called self-supporting and non-self-supporting. I know, such a genius way of naming them. The great thing is you can't be confused, because sometimes the agricultural world comes up with a really fancy name and nobody knows what they actually mean. With these, it's pretty obvious. You either have a pea that supports itself because it's usually pretty small, compact, and when they're planted in a row, they basically kind of self-support each other, or you have the other option, which are non-self-supporting, and as the name would imply, they don't self-support. They need support. So it's really, really obvious. If you have a trellis and you want to get them nice and tall, these are varieties you want to go with non-self-supporting. If you are growing in raised beds or you want to grow like in ground, you don't want to have support. You want to grow just a nice row of them. Grow a self-supporting variety. Now, I will say that the name self-supporting is a little bit loose, okay? Because here's how it works. If they plant them in a field, they don't have trellises running down the whole field. And so what they do is they just grow a bunch of them, and when they get tall, they'll support. Over time, if you get a strong wind, they will kind of fall over. That doesn't negate the term. They don't calculate that into the way that the peas are broken down. If you want to support a self-supporting pea, you definitely can. It's just they're only going to get so tall, so you might find it's kind of a waste of a trellis. So those are the 2 groups of peas. Now we're going to break it down into subgroups. So now we're going to talk about the 3 different subgroups of peas. You have the first group, which is known as a snap pea. As the name would imply, again, things are pretty simple. You're going to figure this out. Snap peas are, as the name implies, they go snap because you snap them, you break the end off, you break the flower end off and the stem end off, and you usually eat the whole pod. Those are usually used in things like stir fries or just dipped into ranch. All are great. I love a good snap pea myself. Now compare that to the other subtype of pea, which is a shelling pea. Those are peas where the outer shell tends to get a little stringy or a little tough, maybe slightly bitter. And so ultimately you're going to shell them for the seeds inside, or the immature seeds, which are the peas. Those are the green peas that you find, you know, maybe sometimes you got peas and rice. Sometimes you got baby food, mashed peas. I don't care how you get your peas in your body. They are really delicious, but you're going to use a shelling pea for those. And the reason why is because if you let a snap pea form seeds, the seeds are going to be very starchy. They're not going to have a great texture or flavor. And so they've been kind of selected, genetically selected, for just having a better tasting, more palatable pea inside of the formed pod. But then where does that leave us with the third variety? Well, that's where you get into a wonderful wonderful blend of both of them. That's where you get into a snap/shelling pea, or a snap shelling pea. Again, I told you, the names are pretty simple. If you understand basic English, you can pick out a pea variety you're going to like, because there's nothing confusing about it. This is a variety that basically you can harvest it immature for the pod on the outside as a snap pea, or you can let it get mature, and then once it gets mature, you can shell it and eat the peas inside. Best of both worlds. So those are the 3 subgroups, as well as the 2 main groups. So breaking these down, I actually have some varieties here that we carried over at MIgardener to really show you guys the different names and kind of give some examples. So here I have the Thomas Laxton pea, and this Thomas Laxton pea is actually a self-supporting shelling pea. You're gonna grow it for the seeds inside or the peas inside, not for the pods themselves. This also is self-supporting, means it can be pretty compact. You don't need to put this on a trellis. Next, we have Lincoln pea. Now, this is a self-supporting, so it's gonna be nice and compact, but it's a snap shelling pea, meaning you can use it for both purposes. Really versatile, a great pea to grow. If you don't wanna have them up a trellis, this is a wonderful one. Up next is the avalanche pea. Now, this is a snap pea, but it's also a self-supporting snap pea. That means it's gonna be nice and compact, but you're gonna eat it for the outside pods and things like stir fry. All right, up next is a non-supporting, so this one needs a trellis. This is a non-supporting shelling variety known as Green Arrow. This is a great variety if you're looking for the peas inside and not the pods. Up next is a non-supporting snap. Now this again won't support itself, it needs a trellis, but it's a snap pea, meaning you're harvesting it for the pods, not for the seeds inside, for the peas. And last but not least is this variety here. This is known as the Oregon Giant Snow Pea. This is a snap shelling pea. That means it's going to be able to be used for the pods, but also the seeds inside, which is great, but it is non-supporting. That means it's going to need some trellising. So if you wanna grow this one, this is another great option, but this is what you kind of consider to be one of those hybrid varieties. All right, and last but not least, I saved these for the last because these are obviously going to be either a snap pea or a shelling pea, but these are kind of what we consider our colored varieties. These are a lot different because these are all green peas, but you have this wonderful category here of colored peas. These are kind of your artisan blends, and these are really cool. One of my favorites is this spring blush pea. This is a snap pea, so you're gonna harvest it for the pods, not for the seeds inside. And it's got this beautiful, beautiful purple, green, kind of mottled color. And also you've got here, this is a golden sweet pea. This is also a snap pea. You're gonna harvest this for the pods, not for the seeds inside. Absolutely incredible. This one is non-supporting, so you really do need to give this one some trellising. And then last but not least, you have a blue shelling snow pea. Now this is a shelling pea, as the name would imply, but it also does need some support. Now this one grows kind of intermediate, so some people say it's non-self-supporting, some people say it's self-supporting. In my experience, you want to throw it on a trellis. But those are all of the different groups of peas and subgroups of peas. Before you go out and buy seeds, really ask yourself what you're looking for and your growing conditions that you're gonna have them in, and that's gonna help you to pick the best variety for your garden. So if you did enjoy this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care, bye.